Good day, folks. Today on the bench I'm going to tie you up my version of a rolled muddler. I've used some different materials here, give it a very unique look, and it fishes very well. It gets nice and slender in the water. So we'll go over the materials we need to tie this fly. First of all, I'm going to use this is a size 2 streamer hook. I'm using a very high quality streamer hook here for good penetration. I'm putting a nice little hot pink bead on the front. Thread, we're going to use some 6/10 thread. Also going to use some floss for the underbody, pink, hot pink. The overbody, I'm going to use some pearl flashabou here. And over the pearl flashabou, to reinforce that, I'm going to use some small green wire. For the wing, I'm going to use just a couple strands of this polar flash. This is in a sea green. You can use something similar if you don't have the sea green color. And the wing, we're going to use some mallard flank, some large mallard flank feather. And the head, we'll use some long deer hair. Nice and get the finest deer hair you can find with some length to it. Works good for this fly. I'm tying it in a large number 2, so I do not put the tail on it. It gets a little too long with that. I have the wing basically coming back past the tie-in point or past the bend a little bit anyway, so that kind of works good for that. It's a great fly if you haven't used a rolled muddler. It's a pattern that's been around a long time, been very, very effective. On the beaches, inland, I've caught cutthroats even in my local rivers with that. Okay, let's get a hook in the vise. We'll get started here. Get my 6/10 thread. We'll dress the shank of the hook as always. I'll come in here to the front. I want to get some green wire. You can use different colors. That's kind of what I use. I got to find the end of it here. Where is it? Not find the end of it, but anyway, we'll get some out. I'll have 2 ends of it now. Tie my wire along the far side. Trim off the excess. I don't need that much. That'll be enough to do another fly there. Then I'll come in. Let's see. I want to go in with my flashabou first. It's a very wide saltwater flashabou, so if I had the narrower, or if you're using the narrower, just you want to start from front, wrap back, and then forward again. Okay, but I'm using a fairly wide flashabou here, and I can get it turned properly with that. I've got lots of width to work with. I'm going to take my thread to the front. After I get my underbody tied in, my floss, and get that. Okay, now I better get my flashabou out of the way. There we go. Now we'll just wrap our body, and as I come to the front, we'll start getting a taper. A little bit of a taper there. Tie the floss off in the front. See, I've got a couple little strands there. That's alright. We just want this for the color. Makes a nice underbody. Very nice coloration. I like using these kind of style bodies for streamers wherever I can. And I'm just going to make sure I get these turns close enough where I'm not getting spaces. I'm getting enough wrapped over itself. Looks pretty good. And then we'll reinforce that with the wire. Really gives it a nice effect. Looks really good in the water. So then we'll reverse wrap that, and it's going to turn it the opposite way, and that gives it lots of strength. Actually get some of that color show up too when you turn the fly. You'll see it kind of head on. It'll kind of get a little bit more of that coloration. Pretty cool effect in the water. You see it Okay, then underneath I'm going to use some of my polar flash. I'll just tie that on right here at the front. And on top, pull it back over itself. Come just past the tail. The bend here actually, about a gap length behind. Then I'll get my large mallard feather. Get the junk out the bottom here, pull that webby stuff off the bottom. We'll get our mallard stripped off the side here. And a rolled muddler, we just put it in our fingers and we basically roll that around till we got pull the feathers together till we got our wing shape. I'll pinch it on the top, get a soft turn or two, and then I pull up, and I should set it right on top. Tie those butts down good. There, that looks good. See, and I extend that's why I don't put the tail on. I got the wing going past here, nearly a gap length, so that kind of does that. It works quite well. I'm using a longer shank hook. A lot of them are tied on shorter hooks. You can go to a smaller size. Now I'll take a pinch of my deer hair off the hide and brush out the under fur here so it'll stack. If you get that static when you're working with deer hair, you can always spray your patch or your hands or your pants or whatever with a little static guard, or you can get a bounce dryer sheet from your wife and that'll take away any static when you're working with hair. Stack up the tips, and I want the tips come just about to the bend here. I'll take 2 soft turns and then I'll let it just go right around the shank. And I get some good turns to get those butts down to the front. Nice and tight. I just finish that right behind the bead. The bead gives it just enough weight to kind of get it below. I don't want it to just fly too heavy. I like to be able to fish it very shallow on the coast. And you can fish it in rivers too, little BC rivers or any river you want to go. There's Holden Cutthroat or Rainbows. You'd be surprised what'll eat this. It's a nice little streamer. Simple and very effective. And I leave quite a bit of hair on the top here because when it gets wet, it goes down, looks really good, and give you an idea. You still got the nice underbelly there. You get that nice. It's a very attractive fly. It's got enough the minnow appearance in the water. So there it is. It's just a very simple, easy fly to tie. My rolled muddler. Got a little straggler down there. Must be some of that flash. I think I've seen that going on there when I put it on. And there's definitely one you want to take on the road with you. You can tie it various sizes. This is number 2. You can go to 6s, 8s even would be fine. I find this about as large as I'd go right here. But we wish you all the best with this, a rolled muddler, and thanks for watching Sports Fishing on the Fly on the Bench segment with us, and catch you again real soon. Take care.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.